Well, thank you very much, Charles, in the Enugu Center, and welcome to Abuja. My name is Nwosu. Let us thank our colleagues in Enugu, because the issue that I discussed this morning is very important. The Nigerians out there should be representatives, value representatives, cultural representatives, identity representatives of those of us here back home. Therefore, how they carry on, what they say, how they dress, how they conduct business, it's not just the language and the music and the festivities. Who they are is a cultural statement of who we are here back in Nigeria. But yesterday, Tuesday, the rites of passage for Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Of course, you should know him. If you don't know him, he was the INEC chairman, NEC chairman, that conducted the 1993, the famous 1993 presidential elections in this country. That election, in all the conversations in Nigeria, has been adjudged the freest, the fairest, and the most credible in the history of this country. So, when the rites of passage for Humphrey Nwosu began yesterday, we had to change the topic what we discussed this morning, because we think that something of great national import began yesterday. Humphrey Nwosu will soon be referred to in history. He was, I just said so now, he was. And very soon, conversations around him will begin to fade. And progressively, his name will just be found in the history books. Books of political science, conversations about Nigerian politics and democracy. But this morning, we want to engage with Humphrey Nwosu. And just watch the topic. That will tell you where we're coming from. Humphrey Nwosu, when will another come? Now, from the venue of the event yesterday, we got to know some members of the burial committee of Professor Humphrey Nwosu. We couldn't lay our hands on all of them, but one of them is here with us in the studio this morning, and my guest is Prince Elias Odoemena. Prince Elias Odoemena first is the publisher of Head News magazine, but he's here because he's also a member of the burial committee for Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Prince, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. For many of us who were there yesterday and listening to Nigerians speak about Humphrey Nwosu, I felt that that event was a commentary on Nigeria's electoral process, Nigeria's democracy. We are told that if we get the process right, we get democracy right. And here is a man, everybody was saying, he is the man who delivered the best process in the history of this country. As a member of that committee, how honored are you to be part of sending this man home?
Yeah, you know, in Nigeria, we like to honor the dead more than the living. You know, there was a time we went to one professor, Pobola. He was reading a tribute of a judge. He said that it is better to read the tribute of a
living person.
No, a dead man.
A dead man.
Than reading the tribute of a living man. Because a dead man, he can say many things. People will be sober, they will not challenge you. But if you are talking about the tribute of a living man, they'll say, no, it's not. He didn't do this thing. Well, that is a living man. Please, I am honored to associate with myself with the burial committee of Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Nigeria, I can't say Nigeria will not have his type again, but it's high time. How many years now? Nigeria has to have a person that will replace him. Up to now, you have not gotten a replacement for Professor Humphrey Nwosu. It is a pity, and Nigeria should do all they can to make sure that we have Professor Humphrey Nwosu's replacement.
Now, maybe in the course of this program, we'll be playing back some of the clips, some of the videos from that event of yesterday. But everybody keeps saying he conducted the freest, the fairest, and most credible election in the history of Nigeria. That statement means that Nigeria has not been able to conduct credible elections after him. You are in this committee. You also associate with politics and politicians. Why do you think that Nigeria is finding it difficult to conduct free, fair, credible elections?
So let us move, some years back, our former president, President Yar'Adua, he even accused the INEC that brought him to power. He said that the process that brought me to power
was just not credible.
Was not credible. It was nonsense. He said it. So it's a pity. I'm saying it's a pity. After how many years? After how many years? What is INEC doing? What is we have after that? We have a lot of them. I can't start mentioning past INEC chairman. They are numerous. But after election, do you know that the money people spend, the money people spend, let me say spent,
yes,
in the court process is higher than the one they use in campaign. They invest in their campaign. Because INEC, they call them independent, but they're not independent. INEC is not doing the needful. They're not doing the needful. But people always talk about chairman. But what of INEC staff? The success of every election depends.
It's a collective.
Yes, a collective responsibility. But most of the INEC staff, from not a commissioner, before directors and all the field staff. But at times when things go wrong, you blame the head. But the heads also monitor those working because
for him.
They are working for you.
He carries the crown at the end of the day.
Yes, they are working for you. He cannot. There was one time when we were in Lagos. There's one man they call Odoemena. The area controller for Papa. One of the custom men was holding his entry that contained his containers of good. When he went to the when Odoemena went to the controller, of course, someone okay from Majali, he's a Humphrey Nwosu brother. The man said that he said that, why are you holding my container? That was what you are holding my container. He was pointing at this, shouting. The director said, am I holding a container? They asked the agent, is he holding a container? He said no. The man told the
controller,
if I want to sue custom, I will not sue the
field staff.
I'll sue you. Because at the end of the day, if they are doing good. You take the praise. Abuja will praise you. That's what will happen in Lagos. But when they are doing bad, I'll put it to you that
you are reliable.
So,
in other words, the headship
matters.
Yeah, but let me just tell you what I said before we entered the studio for this conversation. If you walk the Nigerian street today, no, street is urban. Go to the communities, go to my village, go to my kindred, go to my family in Imo State and listen to the conversation on politics between my cousin's wife, my nephews, the pine wine tapper, the man who has a shop by the corner. You hear something like this. I don't want to waste my time. I cast this vote. Does it matter? They have already made up their mind on who. And here we are talking about a man who was able to deliver an election, a process that did not cause this kind of conversation. But today the conversation is everywhere. Why is it that the Nigerian electorate today is helpless? He doesn't even believe in the process. He thinks that leadership emerges anyhow else except by his vote.
Yes, sir. You are going too far. You are in Abuja. You are talking about your village.
My village.
Hundreds of kilometers from Abuja. Go and enter bus. At times, because of my head, they said I should not be driving always. When I had lumbar problems, they said that I should be taking at least 30 minutes every day. But when you are using car, you cannot take up to 10 minutes a day. Enter motor from here, from Bega to Nyanya, Maraba. This is a bus, they call it Rufai. This is a long, luxurious bus. Enter the one going to Kubua, to they call this Niger State. Suleja. What will be hearing? If you talk about, they discuss politics. What's happening in Nigeria?
Those buses.
More than what they discuss in the villa. They'll tell you that if you talk about they have this election, the result is out. They have the result sealed up. You are talking about the election. Don't talk about the election. The result is sealed up. Go to Lagos, enter motor from CMS to Festac to my 2, or enter from Yanakaja to Idimota, or from Ikorodu, Ojota to
where the ordinary Nigerians live.
Yes, to Libo. If I'm a president of Nigeria, I'll have a SA on people's SA on matters that concern people. Let them be going there. The people like us, we are on the street. We hear more than president here. Once become a president of the nation, they will cage you. And they call them cabal, but I don't believe in cabal. They will cage you. They want you to hear what they want. They don't want you to hear what is happening
outside,
out there. The discussion of what is happening in Nigeria, you hear better before they say that beer parlor talk. No, it's not beer parlor talk anymore. You hear you hear the stories
in the buses, public transport, in marketplaces.
Yes, marketplaces. So Nigeria have to do something. We have to do something. It's a pity that they did not give Professor Humphrey Nwosu the
opportunity, really. The opportunity. Now I listen to Professor Jerry Ghana. By the way, if my producer has that clip from the event of yesterday, please let's get it ready, because let us hear from those who spoke at that event. But there are two gentlemen who spoke and whose comment I want to bring into this program this morning. One of them is Professor Jerry Ghana, who spoke about that election at Humphrey Nwosu. The next person is Professor Atahiru Jega, who himself was an INEC chairman. It's interesting so that you can hear what they said. But meanwhile, I hope the clip is ready. Let my producer please play them.
Professor Nwosu is a celebrated person who really produced the option A4. We discussed that together, a number of joint sessions between MAMSA and the then Electoral Commission to arrive at this very, very critical junction of how to have elections that are not only peaceful and orderly, but credible. Democratic elections have to be credible, believable, must have integrity. And Professor Nwosu really is a person who cannot stand a hypocrisy. He wasn't a hypocrite, he was real. And so he wanted us to really come up with an option that cannot be cheated, that at the end of the elections, there will be the great honor that the elections will be conferred with that credibility. Not just by the people announcing, but the people who voted. Because when you announce the results, those who voted will know whether you are announcing what they voted or something else. Option A4 was designed to be very credible. And you know, it was excellent, produced one of the best results of elections in Nigeria, celebrated, highly honored, but to our surprise, the best elections were annulled. That was the most difficult day in our lives.
Are gathering in order to celebrate his legacy. And I have no doubt, I think unfortunately in our country, we seem very slow and hesitant in rewarding national heroes. And I consider Professor Nwosu's contribution and the courage to withstand what I can call the intrigues of military rulers trying to stay and perpetuate themselves in power, really something that is very heroic and that deserves to be appropriately appreciated and recognized and honored in our country.
Well, a man who deserves all the appreciation, a man who deserves all the honor. And those two professors who spoke, they brought out two issues. Option A4 was product of thought, good thinking. It was not in the textbooks, but people thought. And in thinking, they understood the electoral environment. They knew the setbacks, they knew the attitude of the politicians, they knew the attitude of the military, and they thought out of the box in order to deliver on the demands on the process. That's one thing. Now, I was interested in what Professor Jega said, that Professor Humphrey Nwosu had the courage. In other words, there was pressure. There is always pressure. But the difference is one man refused to cave in to the pressure. Some people cave into the pressure. And the results are different. And that is why we're celebrating Professor Humphrey Nwosu this morning. I still have in the studio Prince Elias Odoemena, a member of the burial committee of Professor Humphrey Nwosu and the publisher of Head News magazine. Two issues have arisen, and that is, we seem to be following the democratic process as practiced in UK, in US, in India, ballot box, put it, and all that. But in UK, people don't get pregnant with ballot papers. And the US, there's nobody by the side willing to share dollars to cause the electorate to vote differently. Do you think our INEC today, or INEC after Humphrey Nwosu, is thinking seriously? Or are they just, pardon my language, are they just doing follow?
They are not doing, even follow is a lesser word, sir. Conducting elections like, let me say, it's just like dancing style. Like the dancing style of Igbo people is different from that of Hausa, Yorubas, Shekiri, and other tribes. You cannot copy what will not suit you. You cannot copy what cannot suit you. You see, in America, they can start voting for 1 week, and everything will be correct. Do it in Nigeria. Start voting for 1 week or 2 weeks, or vote for 2 weeks. You see the outcome. That's why God gave Professor Humphrey also the sense to produce that option A4. One man said that it's wait and get. Just it's like that time before that Polaroid picture.
Yes.
Not before before you start taking picture with camera. That's what they call when you take picture of this today. You take 1 week. They go and watch it. But that's what they call a Polaroid. Wait, they call it wait and get. When you take it, it collect the picture and pay the photographer. That's what Humphrey Nwosu gave Nigeria. Wait and get electoral process. Option A4. You queue at the back of your candidate. It doesn't take time. After everything, the result is there.
Not expensive.
Not expensive. You don't.
No need for litigation.
No litigation. No. You know Nigeria. You cannot do without litigation. Even though there will be litigation, you give judges less headache. So he brought that
option A4.
Option A4, which is wonderful. So, and the different, I like what Jaga said, but he didn't elucidate himself very well. He talked about pressure. Pressure is a lesser word. Humphrey once was they pointed gun on his head to denounce Abiola.
It's pressure.
Yeah, it's pressure.
It's pressure.
Allegedly, they said that one general slapped Humphrey Nwosu. He refused. That's why they will come and start talking that the heroes of democracy without mentioning Humphrey Nwosu. Talking about the heroes of democracy without Humphrey Nwosu, it's like celebrating a football team that won a trophy. Celebrating the trophy and the players without mentioning the coach. You can't celebrate
heroes of democracy.
Yes, without mentioning Humphrey Nwosu. In fact, Humphrey Nwosu is more important than Abiola in this game. He produced Abiola. Without Humphrey Nwosu's
there would have been no Abiola.
There not even be Tinubu. You are saying I'm happy. I'm a good follower of Tinubu. There will not be something like Tinubu, because after the cancel what is black and white, after they cancel it, that's where people like Tinubu
began to protest.
Yes, he emerged.
The Nedeko and all that.
Like Dele Momodu, I give it to him. He was young and he was following them. There was a time Dele Momodu was hiding in the Keja. There's a place in Balogu where a small restaurant and the fried chicken. He would come there at midnight, just like a chief, to come and buy and go away. Those people that suffer for Dele Momodu suffered for this democracy, but they don't make noise. So Nigeria should be grateful to Humphrey Nwosu. Buhari last time he gave he called Abiola and gave Abiola. I gave what they call it.
MK Abiola national honor.
Without giving Humphrey Nwosu. This is what I have going. My elder brother, Dan Wanyangu, the current, if you come to the Nigeria political scene, is the most experienced chairman of the political party. He chaired the Labour Party for 10 years. Now he's chairing the General Labour Party. He said that Buhari is still having pathological hatred on the Igbos.
Let us not
divert. Yes. But he said Humphrey Nwosu supposed to be honored. So I'm telling President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you're a member of Nadeko. If you run away, if your friend Bob Mosisi died, and his wife is even following you up to today. People attack his wife because of you.
So why not honor the man who
produced all of you? Let me shock Nigerians. They talk about Nadeko. They don't even from Nadeko.
Let us leave that to history. Let us leave that to Go ahead.
But it is also important.
Yes, go ahead.
To tell Nigerians that Commodore Ebuti Kiwe from Nadeko, if Ebutiko from Nadeko, and put what they call the other man, to be his eye on the Nadeko. But people don't know. And if I talk about heroes of democracy, they don't mention those from the east, and some like Shehu Sani also. There are people that vote for this democracy.
I want to look at the list of those who were at that event yesterday. This may not be a comprehensive list, so I want to raise an issue. All those who were at the event yesterday were those who said they believed in free, fair, credible process, and that they came to honor a man who symbolizes that in Nigeria political history. Let me look at the names. Just some of them. Professor Atahiru Jega, he was there. Professor Jerry Ghana, he was there. Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, he was the chairman of that planning committee. Rosemary Anthony, the INEC secretary. Rotimi Amechi, former governor of Rivers State. But let me check. Let me mention more names. Professor Tonya Iredia virtually joined from the US. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie also joined virtually. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, she joined from the US. And a man who is forever Nigeria's friend, Andrew Young. These are people, I can't mention everybody anymore. These are people who said they came to identify with free, fair, credible election in Nigeria. And that here is the man who symbolized that process. Although the outcome was annulled, he had already completed the action. But then, let me just use my glasses and look at this. I did not see any former Nadeko representative at that event. I did not see any representative of the Abiola family at that event. I did not see any delegation from retired General Ibrahim Babangida at that event. And I did not see a representative of the federal government headed by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If these people I mentioned earlier represent those who believe in free, fair, credible election, and these other people who benefited from that free, fair, credible election, or who were players when it happened, will I be wrong to say, therefore, that these people will no longer believe in free, fair, credible election? In other words, our president doesn't believe in it. That's why he did not send a delegation. That IBB doesn't believe in it. That's why he didn't send a representative. That Nadeko itself no longer believes in it. And that's why. And that there are Biolas who have been honored because of the outcome of that free, fair, credible election, no longer believe in it. Or is Nigerian politics a game of opportunists? Those who see a chance. If you take this, your job. If you take the other one, your money go miss. Why do you think that those people were not there yesterday?
Yeah, it is disheartening. It is sad and wicked that this we mentioned is not come, and they did not send a representative. No matter how busy, because I still believe in Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's a true Democrat. I don't know whether the invitation go to him or not. If President Bola Ahmed is supposed to be there live, so forget about those things they are calling. Yes, Abiola family is supposed to be there. IBB may not be there, or his representative.
But he was the man who
Yeah,
brought in Humphrey Nwosu.
Yes, he brought Humphrey Nwosu. And Nigeria, you cannot also thank Humphrey Nwosu or talk about his achievement without mentioning IBB. So
I think for the opportunity for him to say, I am a Democrat.
Yes, okay, but IBB is a great man. And he's a good listener. I don't know where he's not there. I visited his house about 2-3 times. He's a good IBB. He's a very good listener and a friend to all. So I don't know, but IBB is having some health challenge.
Yeah.
So
that's why I didn't mention him as a person.
Yes, he cannot.
At least send somebody.
Yes, he cannot talk about
some
IBB.
measure of symbolism.
Yes, but
I am also with you.
Yes, IBB. You cannot talk about IBB, but we're also thanking IBB for bringing Humphrey Nwosu out.
Although at the end of anyway, he has said that he did not annul June 12, that it was the Abacha clique that annulled June 12. So he said.
Yeah, he says so. I'm not the spokesperson of Abacha, but the Abachas. But how is it? What was it that when Abacha died, they were there prosecuting his family, prosecuting Al-Mustafa? But I like what Al-Mustafa said in the Twitter panel. He said, even if Obasanjo hire me today, I'll still repeat the thing. What I did in Abacha, I'll still do it.
Let us leave that. Let us take it off.
Yes. If Michael Zuckerman them, Femi Falana, the activist, Dele Momodu, Shehu Sani,
they ought to be there.
They're supposed to be there. I don't know why they're not there. I can't,
You can't speak for them.
Yes, but the world are watching, because whether I like it or not, this yesterday's event was all over the world. But they expect to see those who are core
Democrats
who
believe in free, fair, credible elections.
Yes. I cannot talk, but if Aya Debanjo is alive, he will be there. He will be there. And the boutique way, I don't know
his state of health.
His state of health is supposed to be there. He's from Nadako. So it is a pity that those people don't have that there. And let me use, I cannot, I'm not a presidential spokesperson, but I'm telling President Bola Ahmed Tinubu he should apologize for not being there. Please apologize to Nigeria for not being there. But you are the product of Humphrey Nwosu, Professor Humphrey Nwosu. That's what I can say about that.
Well, now we are investing time this morning discussing somebody who managed a process.
Who is wanting to be discussed?
Yes, but why we're discussing it, because he managed a process that is a watershed in Nigeria's political history, conduct of elections. During the First Republic, people were pregnant with ballot boxes. In my presence in the Second Republic, in Ilorin, I saw opponents carrying ballot boxes, cards, ballot papers, and throwing them off the fence so that their opponents' numbers were reduced.
Yes.
But here is a man who was able to understand the environment, political environment, to understand how the politicians play it, the foulness they bring into it, and created a method that overcame all those things. And I like what Jiga has said this morning, or what he said yesterday, which we played back this morning, that Humphrey Nwosu, in doing that right thing, was under pressure. Please, sir, every time in Nigeria after that, elections are conducted, leadership goes home, Nigerians say this election was not right. Is it because leadership can no longer withstand pressure? How can we recruit people into the Independent Electoral Commission, people who can withstand pressure?
Yeah, you see, this your thought, this is what he said, what he just said now. People have debated, every time debating, talking about it, that civil society members should be among those who will be INEC chairman. They should be inclusive in INEC commissioners, and they will select. They should select somebody from civil society to
in the INEC leadership.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm a member of civil society. I am the Director General of African Network for Peace, Progress and Development. But if you see what some of our civil society are doing,
but see, there have been arguments that the process of bringing in the leadership of INEC needs to be examined again. There are two issues. One, a president is a partisan, no matter that he has become the president of everybody. He belongs to a political party. In other words, in political contest, he favors his party naturally. And so people have been saying, why don't we stop the method of the president appointing the INEC chairman? That is issue number one. Issue number two is INEC commissioners who are card-carrying members of a political party should no longer be given a place in INEC. Let me just draw your attention to a trending picture. The INEC chairman in Delta State was the chief of staff to the Senate president now, Godswill Akpabio. In other words, he's a confirmed partisan. How can he supervise an election in which his principal is defeated roundly? Loyalty. How can we solve this problem of appointing people who are not partisan so that they can give us the true outcome of our elections? Prince.
Yeah, this is a very hard nut to crack. A very hard nut to crack. But you see, we also use Nigeria should use Nigeria Bar Association, civil society members. There are some credible members of civil society, and you cannot ask president not to, select, but they can. President cannot select, but he can supervise. He can supervise. I think selecting an INEC chairman should come from, because that are the strong bodies: Nigeria Bar Association, the lawyers, board of benchers, and the civil society of Nigeria. Because without these two people, I don't know if you have. I don't think that there's any other group.
Well, but there are still Nigerians. I just want to draw your attention to something very quickly, Prince Elias, and that is the danger of not allowing a credible process to play through. Yes, Yar'Adua admitted that the process that brought him to power was flawed, and he was making an effort to correct things.
And he did.
He tried to. He didn't complete the process. Before he died. Now, with all due respect to the FCT minister, Nwosu, with all due respect to our Supreme Court, with all due respect to Elias, the governor of Rivers State, what is happening in Rivers State today is the consequence of the absence of a Humphrey Nwosu. Let me tell you why I'm saying so. The process, as admitted by Nwosu, that brought Elias as governor of Rivers State was not free, fair, and credible. Listen to Nwosu, that he bought all the forbs for all those who contested. He said it on national television. Two, that he made Similar Fubara the governor of Rivers State. In other words, really, the electorate did not matter. The process was of no consequence. If there was a Humphrey Nwosu, that was able and has now been celebrated to deliver free, fair, credible election, maybe we'll not be having the Rivers State situation. Prince, what do you think?
Yeah, you see, you are right in a way, but Wike is not. Yes, Wike is not.
It's not an next chairman.
It's not an next chairman, but he's trying to let the world know how powerful he is in Rivers State. There's nothing wrong in him buying funds for all those for all those who are contesting. Nothing is wrong in that aspect. Nothing is wrong at all. But you know, I didn't think that he's romancing well with the governor. They are playing to the tune of each other. You will not hear all those things. But it's when agreements came up, then when you start hearing all those things.
No, when agreement is not honored.
Yes, when agreement is not honored.
This agreement is behind the back of the electorate.
Yes, but you know, just as we people will say, agreements are agreement. When agreement is not honored, then when you start hearing all those things. What is happening in Rivers State, it is sad, it's a pity, it's sad. I wrote the best press release that can settle both Wike and Similaye Kubura. I will send it to you. On Nigeria, it's on many newspapers how they can settle. You know, in Nigeria, when small thing is happening between two leaders, the undertakers will take over. Undertakers, they will take over. Everybody will be writing. Because the more you write, the more you make money. There's even some people, they'll be talking on the TV as TV want to burst. They want to burst the TV. What is not concern them? They're not even from Rivers State. My brother, people were attacking. They called me attacking me. So also what they are writing. This one favor Wike more. I said I didn't favor Wike. I said let them make peace. Because I said that many people were not there when Wike had sleepless night with Fubara. When they were working together. After Wike's wife and family, the next man is Fubara. A man, accountant general for 8 years. They were very close. So don't come and tell me that you're supporting UK. I don't support UK. Even I gave what my place is to what they call him, Philip Ajuda. Show it to Wike. He said no. I told Philip Ajuda. He said no to me. We send it to House of Rep because of your mother, and we send it to Senate in Abuja. You're saying no to me.
Okay, let us leave that, because the issue this morning really is Professor Humphrey Nwosu. I brought that in because there is a cause, that's a consequence.
Yes.
That's a cause,
and
that's the effect. Now, as you just said earlier on, Abiola was the consequence of Humphrey Nwosu's action. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the consequence of Humphrey Nwosu's action.
Yes.
And you had said earlier that if democracy and heroes of democracy are being celebrated in Nigeria, the first person who ought to be celebrated really is Professor Humphrey Nwosu. At this juncture, let's take a break. My guest is still in the studio. I'll be back shortly. Please stay with us. Well, are still here conversing on the rites of passage for Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Those who were there and those who were not there. He's been celebrated as a hero of democracy in Nigeria. People have been honored for the roles they played in bringing back democracy into Nigeria. Some people have been honored, and the man seems to be left out in the cold. The question we ask is that appropriate? Is that right? But 2 days from today, on the 28th of this month, Ajale in Anambra State will be receiving the body of Professor Humphrey Nwosu.
Ajale, is it Anambra State?
Is it Anambra State?
Ajale, Ajale.
Ajale is Anambra State.
Now, they have banded with women there.
Okay. Is that Enugu or?
It can't be Enugu.
It's Anambra State.
Okay.
I should be Anambra State. Maybe Anambra or Imo.
No, it's not Imo.
So it can't be
Aro Ajale. Of course. It's an Aro man.
Yeah, but the important thing that is in Anambra State.
Yes, it's close to Ajale. Is close to women there.
It's Anambra State.
It's not Enugu.
Yes. So they'll be receiving his body and be committing the body to Mother Earth. But what we don't want to happen in this, as we converse now, is that as the man is buried, let history not be buried. As Humphrey Nwosu goes home, let democracy in Nigeria not go home. From what Professor Ghana said, there was a lot of thinking in getting option A4 out. But somebody watching now will ask, do you want to go back to that ancient thing, that thing people lining up? But Prince, has this purely British Western secret ballot thing, has it performed well in Nigeria?
Yeah, first of all, let me talk about
Humphrey Nwosu going home.
Going home. I don't know that. I don't know how many minutes I'm having, but I'm begging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have to be in Ajale to honor the man who made you. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, please, we are expecting you in Ajale. You must be there. And if you are not going to be there because of the residency of your office, please send a high-powered delegate to Ajale. And coming to what you said about old pattern, that's nothing old pattern. Your village dancing style is different from my village dancing style. It's different from Yoruba dancing style, outside dancing style. Let's just dance.
The one that suits
us.
But somebody asked you, Prince, this same secret ballot and democracy is done well in Ghana, is done well in Kenya. Why can't it do well in Nigeria?
Please, if you cannot practice it in Nigeria, let us practice
what can bring out the right result.
Yes, option A4. It's an elementary way of voting. Wait and get. If you cannot practice secret ballot, what are you hiding? I'll tell you that I'm not voting for you. I'll vote for you. I'll come and line up. It will make our politicians to work hardly, to relate to the voters, to relate well with the electorate. Option A4. If you cannot practice secret voting, please let us go to option A4. And we cannot thank Professor Humphrey Nwosu enough for that his innovation. You cannot thank him enough.
Well, option A4, some people who have spoken said, apart from the fact that it makes the election free, fair, transparent, credible, that it also addresses the matter of corruption. You cannot therefore come around when people are going to line up to begin to give 5,000 secretly, 3, so that come 3,000, 2,000, and that it costs the politician less Because he stands there, those who want to vote for him lying behind him, the thing is counted, he knows the result and the cost of litigation. Prince, are these not reasons for us to try to stick to that option until we are mature enough to be honest with the secret ballot?
I've said it, since we cannot practice the secret ballot, let's go back to the elementary way of voting, the one that suits us well, the one that we are conversant with. Option A4. It cannot beat option A4. I told you before that even the money the politicians spend in
going to court
is far more
than the one they spend campaigning.
Higher than the one they spend in campaigning. And the judicial system, our judiciary, should do something. I have to say, Nigerians are not happy with the judiciary. They are not happy with judiciary. They should amend their ways. They should amend their ways. They say that judiciary is the last hope of common man. But is it happening in Nigeria? And how can, after election in many countries, on that 1 month, everything will fail. But in Nigeria, you go to court for six months. Up to 1 year. Why? Because of the ineffectiveness of our judiciary system. They should do after election. Of course, we are some people don't take defeat. Let everything end on that 1 month.
Okay, my producer says it's time to leave the studio. Professor Humphrey Nwosu has created a political watershed in Nigeria, a democratic watershed in Nigeria. For those after him, what will they be doing? I love the presence of Professor Chiga at that event yesterday. It means that the man has considerable free conscience. I do not know what will happen after this. I do not know why the president is in a delegation. I do not know why Nadeko was not there. I do not know why the Abiola family was there. I do not know. I just don't know. But time will tell. All I can tell this morning is to thank Prince Elias Odoemena. He's been my guest in the past 50 minutes. We're conversing on one from Nwosu. When will another come? That thing tells me that Nigerians still expect something to be done to bring on somebody who can do as well as Humphrey Nwosu did. Prince, can I thank you for coming to the program?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
for having me.
Thank you. And the conversation never ends. It continues every day, Monday to Friday from the Abuja Center. For this Wednesday morning, we thank you for investing your time with us. Have a great day. Good morning.